The message came through just as I was shutting down my laptop for the night. A little chime, casual as ever, but when I unlocked the screen, the words waiting for me knocked the air out of my lungs. Going on a last-minute trip with my ex. Don't be jealous. Froze. My hands hovered above the keyboard, trembling as though I'd been caught in a winter storm. My wife, Claire, never texted me like this. She'd never tossed around something so absurd, so carelessly cruel, as if it were a joke between us. But it didn't feel like a joke. The timestamp read 9:42 p.m. She wasn't home. She hadn't been since the afternoon, and I had no idea where she was. The beginning of the fracture. Claire and I had been married for 7 years. We weren't perfect, but we were steady. At least that's what I thought. We laughed about little things, we fought about chores, and sometimes when the world slowed down, we'd curl up on the couch and remind each other why we fell in love in the first place. Her ex, his name was Ryan, had always been a shadow in our marriage. He wasn't dangerous, not in the obvious way. Just persistent. A friend who lingered too long, who texted too late at night, who needed advice that somehow always required Claire's full attention. I had brought it up once, carefully. "Do you think it's appropriate the way you still talk to him?" She rolled her eyes. "Don't be ridiculous, James. He's ancient history. He just doesn't have many friends." "What, are you jealous?" I wasn't jealous. I was unsettled. But I let it drop. Because that's what you do when you trust someone. You let it drop. The reply. My thumb hovered over the keyboard as 1,000 thoughts collided. Should I demand answers? Should I rage? Should I beg? In the end, I typed just 2 words. Be safe. It was a pathetic response, but it was all I could manage. Because admitting my anger, my confusion, my fear, meant admitting the possibility that the woman I trusted more than anyone in the world might actually betray me. The wait. I didn't sleep that night. I lay in bed staring at the ceiling, the glow of my phone lighting up every few minutes as if taunting me. No calls, no updates, just silence. At dawn, I made coffee I couldn't taste and sat at the kitchen table, staring at her empty chair. The chair where she usually scrolled through emails, where she sometimes teased me for pouring too much sugar into my cup. Every tick of the clock was an accusation. She's with him. He chose him. When she finally came home 2 days later, she smelled faintly of hotel soap. Her hair was damp, her smile tired. She set her purse down like nothing was wrong. "Hey," she said softly. "Missed you." I studied her face, searching for cracks, for guilt, for anything. But she moved with the casualness of someone who believed nothing was out of place. "Did you have fun?" I asked, my voice low, steady. She paused just for a second before answering. "It was fine. Just catching up, you know." The unraveling. Over the next week, the silence between us thickened. I watched her more closely. The way she guarded her phone, the way she smiled faintly at messages I couldn't see. At night, when she thought I was asleep, I heard her texting. Tiny clicks of the keyboard in the dark. Each sound felt like a knife twisting deeper. Finally, one evening I couldn't take it anymore. "Claire," I said, setting down my fork. "Are you seeing him?" Her eyes flicked up wide, startled. Then narrowed. "Are you serious right now? Answer the question." She pushed back from the table. "This is insane, James. He's just a friend. You're being paranoid." But the way she avoided my gaze told me everything. Proof. The proof came in the most ordinary way. I borrowed her laptop to send a quick email. She was in the shower, and the screen opened to her messages. I didn't mean to snoop. But there it was. Her words to Ryan, glowing back at me like fire. "I wish I could stay in that hotel bed with you forever. James doesn't suspect anything. He's too trusting. When can we do this again?" My chest tightened until I thought my ribs would crack. I copied everything. Screenshots, emails, even her hotel booking confirmation. And then I closed the laptop and sat very, very still. The confrontation. That night, I waited for her to crawl into bed. She kissed my cheek, soft, routine, as though the world hadn't shifted on its axis. Claire, I whispered. How long? She blinked. What? How long have you been cheating on me with Ryan? Her face drained of color. James, it's not. Don't lie. My voice broke, but it was sharp enough to cut. I saw the messages. The silence that followed was worse than any confession. Her shoulders sagged. Her lips trembled. And then finally she whispered. A few months. Few months. Just like that, 7 years of marriage collapsed into rubble. The shattered heart. I wanted to scream. I wanted to throw things. I wanted to shake her until she remembered the promises she made, the vows we spoke, the life we built together. Instead, I just asked one question. Why? Tears slid down her cheeks. I don't know. I was lonely. He made me feel seen. Seen. My laugh was hollow. I was right here, Claire. Every day, every night, every moment. I was yours. And you chose him. She sobbed, reaching for my hand, but I pulled away. Don't, I said coldly. You don't get to touch me anymore. The decision. The next morning I packed a bag. She begged me to stay to work it out, but her words felt like ash in my ears. Claire, I said, standing in the doorway with my suitcase in hand. Marriage is built on trust, and you set ours on fire. I won't live in the ashes. She crumpled to the floor, her sobs echoing through the house as I walked out. The aftermath. In the weeks that followed, the world felt muted. Food had no taste. Music was just noise. Nights were endless voids of memory and regret. Friends tried to comfort me, but their words slid off like water. Because how could they understand what it feels like to watch the person you love choose someone else? To realize you were nothing more than a placeholder while she waited for her chance to run back to her past. Divorce papers were signed quickly. I didn't fight for the house. I didn't fight for much at all. I just wanted out. The ending. Months later I got a text from Claire. I made a mistake. Please, can we talk? I stared at it for a long time. My heart still knew her, still wanted her. But my soul remembered the knife she left in my back. So I replied with the same 2 words I'd sent on the night she betrayed me. Be safe. And then I blocked her number. Closing reflection. Betrayal isn't always loud. Sometimes it comes quietly, wrapped in a text message with a heart emoji. Sometimes it's the silence at the dinner table, the faint smile in the dark, the scent of hotel soap that clings too long. But when it comes, it carves you open. It teaches you who you are when the person you trusted most rips the ground from beneath your feet. I learned I was strong enough to walk away. Strong enough to choose dignity over desperation. Strong enough to rebuild from nothing. And though my heart still aches, I know this. I'd rather stand alone in truth than lie beside someone who betrayed me.